All right. Hello everyone, how are you today? It's Kay. So this is the 12th of September on Sunday. So every Sunday I cover the Forex pairs and commodity, gold and crude oil and indices to prepare for the trades for next week. And also I will cover some news for next week. We have a couple of CPI and other reports next week. So let's review what's going to happen next week. So yeah, let's see. Let me just get ready quickly. So it looks like weekly time frame in Forex pairs are all ranging. So you may wonder, why do you watch charts when it's ranging? And the answer is because while markets ranging, the range are all different. So I will look into how different these ranges are to prepare for the trades for next week. All right, so okay, so let me squeeze my face and start the session. So before I start here, just a quick disclaimer, this information today is basically based on my understanding, experience, and knowledge. So when you take trades, please do at your own risk. And if you can please follow the guidelines and rules on this live stream, that would be great, because after all, we're all here to learn. So yeah, let me quickly say hi to everyone and start the live stream. So let's see who's here in the chat. Akbar, Sorosh, and Nami, good to see you. Muhammad and Wong, Gabby, good to see you too. And William, Roge, thank you for joining. Great to see you. All right, so let's start. Let me turn to the trading view, and I will start screen charts from Euro pairs from top all the way to down Swiss franc JPY. I will cover 21 pairs first and then cover commodity and indices. So here is Euro dollar daily chart, weekly chart, because this is weekend. So every weekend I look at the weekly chart, every day end I watch daily chart, and every month end I watch monthly chart, because we want to see how market is closing in this candlestick to prepare for the next week. So Euro dollar on the weekly chart, this is Ichimoku Kinko-hyo, and in terms of the markets, right now Senko span B is flat and Senko span A is flat, the angle is flat, and the Kijun Sen is also flat. And Chikou span overlapping. So this is a range in definition of Ichimoku Kinko-hyo. And also the market is within the Kumo. And if you see the market is in the Kumo where the Kumo is very thick like this. So when you see the market is in a thick Kumo like this is a range. So it may go up and down and we don't know which way it goes. So simply next week could be range also as per weekly basis. Of course, in the lower time frames, we might see some trends, but on the weekly basis, it's range. So next week could be also a bit difficult market to trade. For the last couple of weeks, it's been a bit challenging for Forex pairs. So let's just wait until we see a big trend. Otherwise, we can follow the lower time frame trend directions. But one thing that is important on Euro dollar is that there is a engulfing structure. If I zoom in the candle, and the previous candle's high and low has been engulfing the last week's candle. So yes, this is range. It's ranging and there's no direction. But if the market goes up and breaks the previous high, then it may continue to go up in the short term. So let's see if it happens and see if the market goes up afterwards. So the previous resistance level is at 1.1911 level. Once it breaks, the market may continue to go up next week. All right, so let's check the Euro AUD next. So here is Euro AUD weekly Ichimoku Kinko-hyo says this is range also because the Kumo is flat, Senko span A retracing, and it's about to twist the Kumo, and Senko span B remains flat, and Kijun Sen flat right now, and Chikou span above the candles. So this is retracing backwards and the price in the Kumo now. So it's range. Like when you see the price in the Kumo, it's like airplane being in a storm. So it might be spiky in lower time frames. So Euro AUD also next week could be a very tricky market. And I don't see any other engulfings or pin bars or any sort of like candlestick patterns here. So basically we wait until the market goes either direction. Hopefully the market breaks a Kumo upwards and we see continuous uptrend. But until then, it might be range. Next one is Euro Pound. Euro Pound has been bearish because Kumo's down right now. If you see Senko Span B, it's pointing downwards. And Senko Span A is flat and Kijun Sen flat. And also the price is below Tenkan Sen, Kijun Sen, so it's bearish. But Chikou Span is overlapping with the previous candles. So simply speaking, this is bearish. So I expect the market continuously go down in this reversing wave. But unless we see the market breaks the previous support, which is at 0.8450, unless the market breaks that level or Chikou Span comes below the candles, it might be range. Or if the market breaks the Kijun Sen on the weekly chart, which is currently at 0.8518 level, it may be uptrend and it might retrace all the way back to Kumo. So so right now it's range. For the last 3 weeks it's been ranging, so I expect next week or this month will be range also, unless we see any big events in the markets. And the next one is Euro JPY. Euro JPY is also range because the price is now below the Kijun Sen and Kumo flat, Chikou Span overlapping. But this is range, but the price is not in the Kumo. Just like Euro Pound, price was not in the Kumo, but Euro AUD and the Euro Dollar was in the Kumo like this. So when you see the prices out of the Kumo, this is still bullish in the long term, so it may go up in the long run. And also, what is interesting is that the Chikou Span has been overlapping the previous candles. So as it keeps tracing the previous candles like this way, it may go up continuously on the price action too. So the Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat, so it may be flat for a couple of weeks to the future, but I think in the long run, this is still bullish. So if you see lower time frames to be uptrending, then we can capture that and look for the buy chance. So that is the Euro JPY. And moving on to the Euro CAD. This one's also ranging. The price is below the Kumo, so this is bearish in the long term. But if you see the price and also the Chikou Span, it's all touching. Kijun Sen flat and Kumo itself flat. So it's a range. So it may retrace backwards and it may go down continuously. And we don't know which way it's going in the short term. So once again, in the long term, it's bearish. But in the short term, for next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it might range or it might retrace back to the Kumo. So we have to be careful for this one too. I think last week, the challenge will be about the risk management. You have to exit very soon when you see range market like this on the weekly or daily charts. So next one is Euro Swiss franc. This one is also range and the price in the Kumo now. Last week was doji candle. Kumo's down, but the Kijun Sen is in the Kumo now. And Chikou Span technically below the candles, but this is still range. The price went up, retraced backwards all the way. And the price now went into the Kumo here. So this one is also a very tricky market. Especially last week was doji. So sometime last week there was a bullish trend and bearish trend, and the start price, close price were about the same price level last week. So next week we might see bearish trend. I expect the market goes down this way simply because Kumo's down still. And this pin bar, if you see the pin bar like this where the doji, the body is very tiny and wicks pointing upwards like this way, this is the confirmation of the bearishness in the market. So I expect next week will be bearish and it will be out of the Kumo again. And if it does, we may see continuous downtrend. So Euro Swiss franc, I expect the market to be bearish. And also, you can draw the trend line. You can draw the descending trend line like this way, and you see a couple bounces on the trend line. So that's the reason why I expect the market go down continuously in this direction. All right, so let's cover the USD pairs. So USD-JPY. Yes, I will cover the indices, including S&P and Nifty. So please bear with me. I will cover these Forex market and commodity first. So here is dollar-JPY weekly chart. Right now, Kumo flat, Kijun-sen flat. Chikou span is about to touch the candles, so this is range. But still, this is uptrend and bullish. And I think the significance on this one is that the market touched the Kijun-sen is very significant. Because this Kijun-sen touch is actually, if you count simply the number of candles from the previous Kijun-sen bounce, which happened on the week of the 8th of February, since then, the market has been above the Kijun-sen for the last 30 bars or 31 bars. The market has been above the Kijun-sen. So usually in Ichimoku nature, per Kijun-sen, the market retraces back to Kijun-sen in 26 candles, and then it bounces and it continues to go up in this direction. And it looks like the bounce is happening right now, and I expect the markets go up in this way. So like this, you see range markets everywhere, but the situation in the range market is a bit different in terms of Ichimoku. So I think that this is one of the beauties about the Ichimoku. Okay, so let's cover the next one, Dollar Swiss franc. This one's range, the pure range, Kumo flat, Kijun-sen flat, Chikou span touching, and price within the Kumo here. So there's no trend and no trace. Next one is USD CAD. The Kumo flat, Kijun-sen flat, Chikou span touching, and we already see that there was a Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen dead cross. And so the price is about to be into the Kumo now, because this is consecutive N waves here. So it might go into the Kumo next week, and once it does, what's going to happen is that you will see Chikou span breakout. Chikou span breakout after Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen breakout, and sooner or later the market will break the Kumo upwards, and that will become a Sanyaku Koten signal, and the market may continue to go up in this direction. So I think in that sense, in the long term, this is bullish. If the market goes through the Kumo, it becomes bullish trend afterwards. But now it's range. So it might trace back to Kijun-sen in short term or range, or it might go sideways like this. So yeah, unless we see the next big trend, we have to stay away. All right, so let's cover the pound pairs. So pound dollar, let me cancel these lines. So pound dollar is now flat too, but this is bullish in the long term because the price is above the Kumo still. So Kumo flat right now, Kijun-sen flat, and there was a Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen dead cross here. So this is uptrend because the price is now technically above the Kumo, but once the market goes into the Kumo, then what's going to happen is also like dollar CAD, Chikou span will be below the candles, and the market will go into the Kumo, and it may break the Kumo downwards, and then we might see the bearish trend. So yeah, next week whether the market will be breaking the Kumo or not is a key, and I don't think it's going to break in 1 week. I think it's going to take at least 1 month or 2 months to break, because the Kumo is very thick in the weekly chart. But next week, the price might go into the Kumo. So we'll see on that one. And the next one is pound JPY. Yeah, in the price action, it's range too, but it's above the Kumo, so it's bullish in the long run. So technically, I expect the market still goes up in this direction. But we already saw Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen, dead cross. And for those who are new to Ichimoku, Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen, dead cross above the Kumo doesn't mean that the market goes down from here. Simply, it means that this is the end of the uptrend. If you see this above the Kumo. If you see Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen, dead cross below the Kumo, then that shows the continuation of the downtrend. But this one is just showing this is the end of the uptrend in a weekly chart. So from here, it might be range. It might go range, it might go up gradually, and we'll see which way it goes. Last week was doji. There was not really a direction in the daily basis either, so I think this is a very quiet market right now. So so let's cover the next one, Pound AUD. Pound AUD is also range, the pure range, because the Kumo Senko span A is up and Senko span B flat. So Kumo's up, but Kijun-sen is flat, and price into the Kumo now, and Chikou span above the candles. So looks like it's range as per Ichimoku confirmations, but next week, we might see the Kumo breakout. And once it happens, the market may continue to go up on the weekly chart, and on the lower time frames also, it might be uptrend continuously. So by expecting that, if you see uptrend in the short term, smaller time frames, we can already look for the buy chance to expect the market to break the Kumo upwards on the weekly chart so that you can follow and trail the profits along the way. So like I mentioned before, we have range markets, but it doesn't mean that you do nothing, right? You do nothing in terms of trades, but you better do analysis, because market changes every day, every week, and in terms of Ichimoku, it changes also. So so that's why I recommend everybody to screen chart at least once per day, whether it's a range market or not. At least screen charts once a day, so that you can catch up on these changing markets. So the next one is Pound CAD. Pound CAD is flat now, Kumo flat, Kijun-sen flat. Chikou span is about to break, and this is bullish a bit in price action. So the market might be going up, but one thing is that there was too many wicks, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like if you count previous wicks here, 5 and 6 previous wicks or 7 wicks here. So this is a very tricky market. Although the market go up in the short term, it might go bearish anytime soon. So I think we better avoid taking trades on this one. And the next one is Pound Swiss franc. This one is range too, but in the long term, again, this is bullish, but because the price above the Kumo here. And we already saw that there was a Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen dead cross. And the Chikou span broke downwards, but now it's kind of tracing the previous candles as the market goes up for the last 3 weeks. So it may trace the previous candles, and if that's the case, the Chikou span traces previous candles like this, and so in that sense, next week might be bullish. And once the market breaks a resistance level over here at hold on, let's see, resistance here at around 1.2815 level, the market may continue to go up in this direction. And this level is very significant because not only the resistance levels, but also it was a previous support. So this was reversal. This was a reversal level. So once it breaks, it may continue to go up in that direction. But next week, if we see bearish trend, then the market will be into the Kumo, and we see peer range, and we don't take trades if it happens. So the next one is AUD pairs. So AUD UST, this one is peer range because the Kumo's bearish, the Senko span A is down, but the Kumo itself is too tiny, too short to be trustable, and the Kijun-sen flat and price within the Kumo now. So the price for the last 3 weeks or 2 weeks was bullish, last week was bearish, and we have this engulfing structure too. So simply we better wait for the market to break either direction and follow that direction afterwards, is my view. But right now I can't say which way it breaks because it's range. Okay, so the next one is AUDCAD. This one is also range too, but this is a bit bearish, and it's about to break the Kumo downwards because the Kumo down. Right now, Kumo down, and Kijun Sen pointing downwards, and Chikou span below the candles. So once we see the Kumo breakout next week or next week, it may continue to go down this way. So we'll see on that. Last week was doji, so there was no trend, and so if the doji can break downwards next week, which is the price level of let's see, doji support last week was 0.9297. If it breaks, it may continue to go down this way. So that was AUDCAD, and let's cover AUDJPY. The price is now heading backwards to the Kumo, and we already saw Tenkan Kijun dead cross in Chikou span breakout. Chikou span has been below the candles, so the price, most likely market will be into the Kumo next week. And if it does, Kumo gets thinner and thinner, and the market might be range, it might be spiky in lower time frames because, as I mentioned before, price market being into the Kumo is like market, airplane being into the storm. So we might see a spiky lower time frames. So so better wait until the market breaks the Kumo downwards and then look for the sell chance, is my advice. Okay, and the next one is AUD Swiss franc. This one is also a similar thing. The Kumo bearish, but the Kumo is too small to be trustable, so it may go up and it may retrace back to Kijun Sen in this chart, on the weekly chart. I see multiple bullish candles and bearish candles recently, so this is a very tricky market too. And let's look at the CAD pairs. CAD-JPY. This one is bullish in the long term because price is still above the Kumo, but now it's range. So we already saw the Tenkan Kijun dead cross a couple of weeks ago, and if we see next week Chikou span breakout, then the market could retrace back to the Kumo, so we can capture these pips in the daily chart or the lower time frames. But it may go up from here because it's range, so we'll see which way it goes in the long term. And CAD Swiss franc, this is range. Once again, because Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat, Chikou span broke the candles, but it's been sideways right now. So it may drop down to the Kumo, and once the Kumo breakout happens, it may continue to go down this way. So, but right now it's a very tricky market. There's no big trends right now, so better to do nothing in this case. Right, and finally covering the Swiss franc JPY. Swiss franc JPY is still bullish in the short term, mid term to long term because the price is above the Kumo and Kijun Sen. But it's not range, and this is called P wave because you can draw the descending trend line like this and support level at the Kijun Sen. So since this is descending P wave, usually it breaks downwards because there are more sellers and buyers in the market. And once you see the Kijun Sen breakout sometime next week, we might see downtrend in the lower time frames, and the price might drop down to the Kumo. So we'll see if it breaks the Kijun Sen or not next week. But if it goes backwards, if the market goes backwards and breaks the P wave upwards in this direction, it may continue to go up this way. So we'll see which way it breaks next week. Okay, so that covers the whole 21 pairs on my watch list. I hope you get some ideas for next week about Ichimoku. And yes, I will come back to these comments after I cover these next commodity, and indices and news. So please bear with me. So let's cover the gold and oil. So XAU USD gold weekly chart, and this is range now. Gold's been ranging because the Kumo's flat right now, Senko span B is flat, A is flat, and the Kijun Sen flat. Chikou span is in the Kumo, and this is with the candle still, and Tenkan Sen is also flat. So this is pure range market on the weekly chart. So next week, it's hard to tell which way it goes. The buyers and sellers are in equal level, power level, so it's very difficult to capture the direction in this way. So if you are an intraday or scalper, then of course you can look at the lower time frames and entry and exits. But if you are a day to swing trader, this is not the good timing to buy or sell. All right, so next one is the WTI crude oil, and as per weekly chart, it turned into bullish because I can see that the price is technically above the Tenkan Sen and Kijun Sen and Kumo, and Chikou span came above the price too. So this is a sign of bullishness, and the market might go up continuously in this direction. However, Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat, so that means I don't think it's going to go up soon. It may be flat for a couple more weeks or months, and then gradually it goes up in this direction. It's more expected. So now let's cover indices. So here is Nikkei, and Nikkei has been bullish for the last 2 weeks. The Kumo pointing upwards now. You see Tenkan, this Senko span A is pointing upwards, and even Senko span B is gradually moving up. But this Kijun Sen is flat. But one thing that is significant is that there might be a Tenkan Sen, Kijun Sen gold cross above the Kumo. And when it happens, the market continues to go up this way, usually. And that leads to the Chikou span breakout too. And the market may go up continuously next week in the long term. So the all-time high is here at 30,701. So it may break that level upwards and continuously go up next week. This was due to the news that the Prime Minister in Japan is resigning. So it was a positive news to the market, and the market is bold right now. So next one is the Dow Jones. On the weekly chart, if you see only price action or candlesticks, it's been ranging for the last 1 month or so. But in terms of Ichimoku, this is still bullish because the Kumo is pointing up, Senko span A is up, and Kijun Sen is up. The price is still above Kijun Sen Kumo, and Chikou span above the candles. So this is bullish, and the market may continue to go up in this direction. It may be traced back to Kijun Sen though. It may be traced back to Kijun Sen and bounce by the Kijun Sen, and it goes up too. So we'll see what happens next week or next week. All right, here is Nasdaq. Nasdaq is also bullish. I think this is the strongest index among 3 US indices. So Kumo's up, definitely Kumo's up, and Kijun Sen up. Tenkan Sen now flat, so the market might be traced back to Tenkan Sen next week. But since this is bullish, it might bounce and it goes up in this direction. Chikou span is above the candles. Nice distance to this stable uptrend. All right, and the next one is S&P 500 is also bullish. We see Kumo up, Kijun Sen up, Chikou span above the candles. So similar to Nasdaq, it's also bullish on the weekly chart. And here is Euro Stocks. Euro Stock is now also bullish for the last couple of weeks. If you only see the price action or candles, it's been ranging. But as per equilibrium, per Ichimoku, it's bullish. There are more buyers and sellers in the market because the Senko span A is up and Kijun Sen is up, and Chikou span above the candles. So we had some doji candles and some wicks upwards. So if we see the resistance breakout at exactly here, this level, at 42.48, then it may reach all the way to the next exact number, 4,300. All right, so the next one is FTSE 100. This one is also bullish in the weekly chart. So although we see range market right now, as per Ichimoku, this is bullish because the Kumo's up and the Kijun Sen is up. So next week, it might drop down to Kijun Sen and bounce by the Kijun Sen, and it may continue to go up this way. So yeah, let's see if it happens or not. And the next one is CAC France. This one is also bullish in the long term. Yeah, once again, Kumo's up and Kijun Sen is up. And the Tenkan Sen flat, so it's ranging above the Tenkan Sen. But as long as you see Kumo up, Kijun Sen up, it's bullish. And we can expect the market goes up and head to the next round number of 7,000 market level. And here is DAX index. This one is also similar to other Euro index. The Kumo's up, Kijun Sen up also, price above the Tenkan Sen. So as long as the price above the Tenkan Sen is bullish and it's about to break the previous high. So we'll see if it happens next week or not. And here's Nifty chart. Nifty is no doubt it's bullish. It has been bullish as per Ichimoku lines. Kumo up, Kijun Sen up, Tenkan Sen is even upwards, and Chikou span above the candles. So if you look at the candlestick, last week was doji, and this doji was very tiny. So looks like last week was a range market, but if we see the doji breakout upwards next week, it might continuously be bullish. So let's wait until it happens and see if it happens next week. And the next one is AU200. This one is technically uptrend, but kind of weak uptrend because the market broke the Tenkan Sen now, and it may retrace all the way back to Kijun Sen. But the Kumo's flat now, and Kijun Sen flat. Kijun Sen is up, but this is a bit weak uptrend, so it may retrace backwards a bit more next week. And finally, talking about the Hansen index, it's range now. The price is now retracing backwards for the last 3 weeks, but Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat, and Chikou span below the candles. So in terms of direction, it's range, and in terms of equilibrium, it's bearish. Okay, so that covers the whole indices and analysis by Ichimoku. So let's review some news for next week. So here is the calendar. I use this fxstreet.com and click on the economic calendar, and you can find this one. It's a very handy and nice website, and I have been using for last couple of years, and this is my favorite. But so next week starts 13th, and Monday no news. Tuesday we have governor's speech in RBA, so AUD could be affected by this news next Tuesday. And also on the same day, pound, there will be an unemployment rate, so that might affect pound pairs. So this is one of the big news next week on Tuesday. And towards the later part on the Tuesday, there will be CPI report in the US. So USD could be affected by this news. And moving on to Wednesday 15th, there will be CPI report in pound also. So yeah, pound could be affected by this news. And towards the later part on that day, you can focus on the CPI report in Canada too. So CAD, and technically in the 16th Thursday in Asian session morning time, that there will be a GDP report in New Zealand. So if you trade in New Zealand pairs, you have to watch out this news. And continuing to 16th Thursday, there will be also an employment change and unemployment rate report in Australia. So AUD could be affected by this news. And also Thursday, we have the news in US, which is retail sales report. So just be careful on that one. And Friday, there will be only one news, which is Michigan sentiment report. So I don't think it's going to affect that much in the market recently, but just watch out because it might impact in any ways. So like this, next week also we have a lot of reports and rate decisions in CPI and unemployment rate in multiple countries. So just watch out before the news. You don't take trades, and always come back after the news is the key. So that covers the whole markets, indices, and commodity and forex pairs. So for the next couple minutes, let's do some discussion right now. So let's see. Okay, I hope I don't go too fast in this live stream. I hope you like it. Yeah, if you like it, please press the like button before you leave. That would be great. It keeps me going. Yeah, going like a trend is the key. All right, let me cover the questions and comments. So let me go back all the way. Wow, so many comments. Thank you for joining everyone to participate on this live stream today. It's been such my pleasure to do this every day. So yeah, next week, next Monday to Wednesday, I might be coming on and off. Maybe I will be uploading some videos, but yeah, we'll see. I will continue to do it, whether to upload video or live streams. I do this every day on my YouTube channel. So if you want to master Ichimoku, please follow me. All right, thank you for joining everyone. Great to see you. I've covered USD CAD, S&P 500 covered it, Nifty covered it already. Let's see what else we can find. Alex says, I love your saying that I've heard you say before that when price goes into the Kumo, it's like the plane going into the storm. Very rough up and down, no steady directions. That's true. It's like this. So when you see price into the Kumo, it's like airplane being into the storm. When I traveled from Japan to US, Los Angeles, I still remember I was in an airplane and there was a big storm along the way, and literally the airplane shaked and it dropped all the way down. So I was a bit scared at that time. I wasn't able to sleep in the airplane, but yeah, these kind of things might happen in a range market like this. So these huge drops most likely doesn't happen on the weekly time frame, but it may happen in the lower time frames. That's why I recommend everybody to watch daily or weekly time frames and see if the market is within the Kumo or not. And especially when you see the price within the Kumo, where the Kumo is very thick like this is like the strong storm, like a stronger storm, so to speak. So the price can be very spiky and very, very, tricky at the same time. Gregory says, thank you, your data for pound New Zealand. You're welcome here, you're welcome. I don't trade the New Zealand pairs because of the higher spreads and spikier lower time frames, but hopefully you can apply the view about the markets by Ichimoku and these pairs. Okay, let's see. I think gold is range now. Yeah, Dalek says gold could be range. Gold could be downtrend, he says. Gold 1 hour chart is about to form a morning star. It's already at the daily support. If that happens, it will go up. Let me see, in 1 hour chart. Okay, I think that will be more for the intraday trader style, but I can see the support here definitely at 1783.97. So the price may drop down to that level, and it may bounce that way. But the Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat, so there is no trend, no directions, so it may turn bullish anytime soon. Before it touches the previous support, it may turn and it goes up this way. So we'll see. All right, thank you for your comment, everyone. Great to see here. Rush says, please can you look up New Zealand JPY for me? All right, sure, let's do it. So USD JPY, sorry, NZD JPY. Okay, so here is NZD JPY, and let's take a look at the weekly chart. Since it closed on the weekly time frame. Okay, Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat right now. No direction. The price has been ranging pretty much. For the last 2 weeks was bullish, but last week was a bit range bearish. Looks like Chikou span has been tracing the previous candles. So if it traces next week also, it may be bearish, is my view. It may come back to the Kijun Sen next week. But we'll see. But in a super long term, if the market breaks this level here, then it will become a head and shoulders, and the market may continue to go down this way. But that will be for like next month's topic. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen sometime within this week. So yeah, we'll see. All right, let's see. Please, yeah, I'm actually covering these previous comments and questions, so please bear with me. I have to catch up. Let's see. Okay, Susan says, can you give me your thoughts on Bitcoin today? All right, so Bitcoin, I know there are crypto traders here in the community, so let me check Bitcoin quickly. So weekly chart, Bitcoin is range. The Kumo's flat, Senkou span A is up, but if you see Senkou span A high levels, these are gradually going down this way, you know, lower highs. So this is bearish. This is flat Kumo technically. And Chikou span flat, sorry, Kijun Sen flat, Chikou span is still with the candles, it's range. And there was this is outside bar. This is a significant outside bar. So that includes the previous 3 candles or 4 candles. So unless the market breaks up or downwards, we have to hold, is the theory here. Let me see. Let me just take out this horizontal line. Okay. And with that in mind, let's look into the daily chart. Okay, so here is the big bearish candle, and the price is now kind of dropping down this way. In the short term, I think this is a bit bearish. Looks like the market is heading towards back to Kumo now, and this is not a good time to buy yet. If you can sell, I recommend you sell after the breakout of the previous low here at 42,885 and sell here afterwards, because this is outside bar in the weekly chart. Chikou span has been traced in the previous candles, so if the Chikou span breaks downwards, that will be a sell too. And expect the market breaks at Kumo and continue to be downtrend afterwards. But if you're looking for buy, then I will first of all, I will wait until the market breaks the previous high. That will be one of the scenarios. Or if you see the market breaks the Kijun Sen, I think Kijun Sen, Tenkan Sen are completely overlapping right now. But if you see the market breaks Kijun Sen up right now this way and bounces and goes up, that will be also a buy chance. But right now, we can't tell which way it goes. And this is where we do nothing. We better create scenario in the future without doing anything in this kind of condition. So personally, I don't trade cryptos, so this is just your reference. So yeah, but if this was a Forex pair, I would think like this. When is the equilibrium point is showed? Equilibrium is captured by Senko span B and Kijun Sen, Tenkan Sen. All right, let's say Ganapathy says, hi Kei, how do you know whether Kijun Sen is trending or consolidating? How to compare the today's low with 26 days ago low? Any inputs? Simply you can count number of the candles. So since Kijun Sen is taking the previous 26 candles high and low, if you see the previous low is exactly on 26 candle, and after that candlestick, if you see the higher low on the next high here, then you know that next candlestick, the Kijun Sen will turn upwards. So simply by counting number of candles, you know whether the Kijun Sen will point up or down in near future. Yeah, Nami, you're welcome here. You're welcome. All right, good to see everyone. Thank you for joining. Appreciate participations as always on this relaxing Sunday. It's getting dark now here in Dubai. It's turning to like 7 p.m. now in 10 minutes. Oh, Dalok and Gabby, thank you for the reminder. So yeah, if you liked today's live stream, please press the like button. Before you leave, that would be great. Kale says, when the Kijun Sen enters the Kumo, is it the same as the candle entering the Kumo? Will price fluctuate? Yeah, most likely when Kijun Sen into the Kumo, that means the market retracing, ranging. So that will be a tricky market too. How to avoid a false breakout? False breakout can happen at any time, so risk management is the key. Yeah, risk management is the key to avoid a false breakout. All right, thank you for joining everyone. Great to see you here. Okay, all right, so I guess I will be ending the live stream for now. So yeah, let me change my screen to full. All right, so yeah, looks like so today I kind of went outside and did some training there, and went back home and did some screening charts, preparing for the live stream, and here I am. So, and before that I was doing GTS class, and here I am. So yeah, but looks like markets ranging, especially in the Forex pairs. It's ranging, retracing backwards. Even stock markets or cryptos are still ranging too. And if you push yourself to trade right now, you might lose over time. So you better know when to take trades, and more importantly, you have to know when not to take trades. And when not to take trades is more important because it requires patience and it requires psychological management. So yeah, let's look for the trending market next week. Otherwise, we stay away and just relax and do something else besides tradings. But make sure you watch charts every day, at least once per day, so that you can catch up on these changing markets. All right, so I will see you on the next one. And until then, please stay healthy, stay safe, and stay gold. All right, matane, bye for now. I say matane, and that means see you in Japanese. So matane, bye for now.